Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to the garden. Another beautiful Sunday. An awesome day for our garden update and garden stroll. How are you guys doing today? I hope you're doing good, right? Hope you're having an absolutely awesome Sunday, right? And here's to a great week, right? Let's start the week off on a positive high. Okay? All right, look at this beautiful, beautiful little baby. This is Desdemona. This is Desdemona in the container, starting her second flush, people. Her second flush of roses. Let me go in a little bit closer so you can see her. How's that? Look at this little lady, guys. A gorgeous rose doing what she likes to do, which is flower and flower and flower. And let me take you in a little bit closer. Do you see all of those buds? Oh, she hasn't even started yet. Do you see that? Wow. So I don't know if you remember, Desdemona flowered earlier for us this season, right here in the container. And when it was time to deadhead, we cut her back really hard. I cut her back really hard. And I'm impressed. This baby sent up new growth just all over the place, right? But all of these buds. Excuse me, losing my voice there. But look at all these buds, guys. What? Gorgeous. All right, our little container garden right here on the driveway is a little bit quiet, but I'd like to turn you around and take you over to some new blooms, right? One of our newly planted 1-gallon containers from Heirloom Roses is in bloom. And who is this? This is Leonardo da Vinci. Leonardo da Vinci is in bloom, guys. Wow, right? Very small little flowers, but cute. I like the color. I like the color, right? And it looks like he's got some bloom potential. Looks like he's going to be a heavy bloomer, hopefully. Okay? And then behind him, this is the one I have no doubts about. This is John Davis. John Davis is blooming again. And look at the size of his bloom compared to the plant itself. John Davis is a little stick right now. A little stick, I kid you not. Let me get you in closer so you can see how little stickly he is. Look at that cane, how thin that is, right? And yet this little fellow insists on putting out these absolutely beautifully huge blooms. Right? This one is going to be a keeper. If I can keep him healthy, he is going to be a happy rose in the garden. Right? Weeds in my containers. Can I tell you? Just everywhere. I don't know if you remember, we had cut him back. He had bloomed early this season, and we deadheaded. And this little baby is blooming again. I love it. Love the potential. What I need to do though is I have him in morning sun, afternoon shade. I think he is going to enjoy a full sun location. So what I will do is I'm going to slide him from this side, excuse me, from this side of the driveway, and I'm going to put him over to the other side beside Desdemona because she gets sun, all day sun on that side. All right, the rest of our little container garden right here is a little bit on the quiet side. All right, we got some blooms from the ever blooming iceberg. Such a reliable rose, right? Right here. I'm glad I got this one. I always wanted an iceberg rose. Always wanted an iceberg rose. This one we got for under $10. Yeah. It came in the big box stores, you know, wrapped in that plastic, bare root. And it's lovely. It's awesome. Okay, but look down here. Or clematis that should have cuddled on to the climber behind her, decided to go over to the iceberg rose to anchor in. And look, you see that bud? It's getting bigger. Yeah, our clematis is going to flower, guys. All 4 that we planted bare root this season are growing. This is the only one right here that is that has pushed up a bud that is going to flower for us so far. Cathedral Bells is beautiful here in a container. And look at the cane that Cathedral Bells has put up. I'm going to pull back so you can see it. I've got mistakes in to tie that cane in because it is a huge, look at that. The cane is standing over 5 feet tall, guys. Yep. These roses are settling in, to my surprise, into containers, and they're growing. I'm really surprised by it. I tell you, I kid you not, right? Right here is the Kennedy rose. I'm showing you Kennedy because, do you remember, I had cut this one back after his first flush, stripped him of all his leaves, and did a really hard cut on him, almost like a spring prune. So he got a second spring pruning from me. And look at him now, leafed up and beautiful. Look at all of these buds. Look at that. Now all I have to do is keep him healthy, right? If I can keep him healthy, he will bloom beautifully for us. Okay. The Botanical Hydrangeas are starting to panicle, guys. They're starting to panicle now. All right. We're going to have blooms. Sorry. Oh, my, the garage door was opening. Sorry if you heard it in the background. But we are going to be having some blooms from these panicles. Right? We are going to be blooming by July. Kid you not. This one is Quickfire Fab. Okay. And Quickfire Fab 2, let me show you. Quickfire Fab 2 is right here. Okay. Pushing up healthier leaves. I don't know if you remember the discussion that we had about the leaves in the center that were really small. Since I upped my watering, all right, this rose has just started, I said rose, this hydrangea has just started to really push up that growth. So she's much improved from when you saw her about 2, if not 3 weeks ago. And I am looking forward, look at this, look at this, look at this. Stop it, looking forward to her blooms, right? Let me show you one more hydrangea here really quick. The other hydrangea I want to show you, look at, stop it, look at that limelight and guys, I'm telling you about these limelights, love them. But before we get to the hydrangea, look at this. My neighbor gave me a cucumber. What? Naomi, what are you doing with a cucumber? I know, right? Look at this. It is so huge. I have to up-pot it, and I have to get a trellis. Look, I have to get a trellis for it to climb on, right? So I'm going to run to Home Depot today and see if I can find something. And then I'll also take him to the back garden where he can have this all-day sun. Isn't that cool? Yeah, I'm going to be growing cucumbers, guys. Not only cucumbers, look, I got some peppers. I started peppers this year. And I picked up 2 starts from Home Depot earlier this season. And guess what? I got a pepper. I kid you not, I got a pepper growing. Alright, this is the second hydrangea that I wanted to show you. This is a little hottie, my little hottie hydrangea. Look at my little hottie, guys. The little hotties are loving it. They love their lives in containers. In my garden, they are meant for containers. They have thrived in containers. They struggle in the ground. All right, I'm going to show you 2 that are in the ground now. You're going to say, oh my goodness, Naomi, right? These guys are beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Everyone in a container looks almost like this right now. Almost. All right, surprise, surprise. This is our baby. This is our little cotton from the knockout rose that I want to just put everywhere in my garden. This is the one that I cannot find anywhere. We've got 1 specimen left. So we had some cuttings last year, planted this spring, and look at her. I kid you not, she is not even 12 inches off the ground right now. Not even 12 inches off the ground. And look at all those blooms, guys. Are you seeing it? And coming closer. Look at all of those buds. What? Oh my gosh. All right, so I need lots of green thumb love and energy. Right, all your positive thoughts, because I'm going to be taking my cuttings this week, and I'm hoping I need at least 4 more of her. So I need to take at least 20 cuttings, right? I need to improve my odds here, improve my chances of actually getting the 4. But we're going to see if we can get at least 20 nice cuttings that we can attempt to root them, and then we'll see what happens, right? What happens? All right, everything here, let me turn your turn. Is very quiet on the rest of this bed. The poet's wife all leafed up, budded up, and ready, getting ready. Look at this, to give us a second flush of roses. All right, this is the parent knockout, ready to be deadheaded. All of this Everything that you see here is going to turn into cuttings for me. Everything that you see I'm going to be deadhead in, I'm going to cut all those stems and try to root them, right? The worst thing that can happen is that nothing happens, all right? Okay, let me show you the outside of the garden. This is the outside of our garden this morning. What is different from this week compared to last week is, guess what? The coreopsis, people, or summer bloomers, have started to flower. So the coreopsis is flowering, not as profusely just yet, but let me take you in close. If you can see, she is filled with little buds, right? So we are just starting her flowering phase. The rose right here, Bolero, has started to put on height. Guys, look at this cane. Look at this cane. That is huge. That is thick and healthy and gorgeous. And look at the spray on top of this cane. Stop it. Isn't that gorgeous there? That is beautiful. Oh, let me show you the bloom. Let me show you the bloom. Let me show you the bloom. That's Bolero. This is a lovely white rose that does not burn. She does not burn in the sun. That's very important for me with roses, especially white roses. I don't like roses that burn in the sun. She does not burn. When I say burn, you know, when they fade and they get that really brown color, just bam. Yeah. She holds on to herself for quite a while. I'm loving on that, right? Loving. Lots of dew on the roses today. Lots of dew. Okay. All right, turn around. Let's keep going down. We're just going to do a quick look through so that you can see what this area looks like. Again, the coreopsis has filled in, right, most of its planting zones. It's filled in to the point where I'm probably thinking we're going to start dividing again next year. All of the coreopsis that you see here, guys, pull back so you can see it again. All of this coreopsis came from one 1-gallon plant that I planted 3 or 4 seasons ago, or 4 seasons, maybe when I just started the garden. And every spring what I did is I took a piece of that coreopsis and planted it around these beds, and now look at it. The coreopsis just will not what? It will not stop. And I'll show you the parent here. Remind me to show you the parent plant. Still big, huge, and gorgeous. Right? No end in sight. No end in sight, guys. I kid you not. Right, here we are at the end of our garden bed on the outside. And just to show you, Gabriel, stop it. Gabriel Oak is in bloom. Oh my God, doesn't he look good? Oh my goodness. Guys, there is a secret to, or there is a benefit of debudding your roses. Now, I did not do that intentionally. I had something come through my garden and debud my roses for me. Last year, they did it to Twilight Zone, which is further up the walk. And later in the season, Twilight Zone was able to push up that new growth and push out those flowers. They did the same thing to Gabriel Oak this season, and look at Gabriel now. Gabriel seemed to have enjoyed it, right? Look at him. Oh my goodness, what a beautiful rose. Tell me you don't like this rose, guys. I love this rose. Let me take you in close. The fragrance on Gabriel, we've talked about it, is gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. He's a healthy rose. He is standing tall. Look at this, right? He's normally my baby on the ground. Remember, I normally describe him as a baby on the ground, wanting him and willing him to put on some height. Let me pull back again, because this rose has done exactly that. He has put on some height for us this year. Okay, absolutely gorgeous. Now, I promised I was going to take you in to show you the blooms. Let's go in and look at the blooms. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Isn't that just beautiful? Oh, My camera does not do my roses justice. Any at all. Any at all. What you are seeing on camera is by no way. No. It does not represent the true color of the rose that I'm standing in front of. All right, but that is Gabriel Oak. Gorgeous rose. And or Coreopsis again. On either side, this area came up nice. This area looks kind of cute. All right, let's head on into the back garden. But first, let me take a photo of this because I think I should use this for the thumbnail. What you guys think? Yeah, I think I'll get you to click on the video if I do that. Give me a second here. I think that's a beautiful view. Let's get another. I like it. All right. Okay, let's go into the garden. So we did a lot this week. This week was all about planting. Right? I've actually planted, I think, my final rose for the season. Was planted maybe 3 days ago. That rose was, or is, not was, that rose is the Ancient Mariner. Right? And I'll show you here really quick what she looks like. I planted her in an oversized container naturally. Okay. So we are in the main garden. Ooh, shout out to the Incrediball. Ooh, the Incrediball Hydrangea is incredible. Look at that. Do you want to see the size of the heads? Let me give you a comparison here. All right. Ooh, look at this one. And you know what they say, guys? They say the head only gets bigger and bigger and bigger as the plant gets older and more mature. Right? Look at that. Look at that. Oh my gosh, look at that. What? That is huge. That is so beautiful. Let me pull back so you can see her. That's beautifully huge, right? Look at that. I love it. Awesome. All right, we were talking about, you see her, Naomi. All right, pull back to what we were talking about. That we planted our final rose of the season. That was Ancient Mariner. I'll show you her. We planted her in a container. All right. Look at this. Melisianthus. Had to show you. All right. My little 10 that survived out of 150 seeds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep, we still got the 10 going. Out of 150 seeds, guys. And it's all good. It's still growing. Or marigolds are still marigolin. Right? And now we started with just the yellow. And now that pop of orange is coming up in the center. Look at that. All right. And you think that's anything? I'm going to show you the, oh my goodness. I'm going to show you the one that we have planted around the hydrangeas by the patio. Look at this. We missed a first, oh, we got a first bloom. Look at that. Do you guys remember this rose? Teas in Georgia, the rose that I stressed out last year. Oh my goodness. She is a baby on the ground right now, but she's going to grow. Look at this healthy growth. Look at this. Look at this. Oh man. Right, we just have to be patient for another season or two, and then we should be seeing something happening. All right, we are on the inside of the garden. Okay. The mophead hydrangeas and again the summer bloomers, summer perennial bloomers have started to do their thing. Okay. Look at this one. I find that I have to be very patient with mopheads. I don't know what your experience is growing them. They take a very long time to get established, right? To put on to reach that height, and that growth span that they're supposed to. So I try not to focus on them too much once I put them in the garden. I'll ensure that they're watered and fed and all that good stuff. Outside of that, I set no expectations in terms of growth because they do their own thing, right? Look at the bloom head. I forgot the name of it. It is is it Blue Jangles, or it is a Proven Winners hydrangea. I'm going to put the name up on the screen for you. But growing in nicely here, looking absolutely healthy. She was the healthiest one for the last 2 seasons, this planting. All right. Okay. Oh, there's a big bloom back there on the ground. Look at that. Gosh, her bloom heads are large, ginormously large. It's crazy, right? So there are 3 plantings of her, and again, she is by far the healthiest and the most established. Right, we just have to give the others a few months here, season or 2, to catch on up. All right, I want to show you the Shasta daisies. We're working our way over to the roses, I promise. But I just had to stop to look at our Shasta daisies. Do you remember when we did this last year, guys? I told you I felt so silly doing what I was doing, right? We purchased these Shasta daisies earlier in the spring last year. We purchased 4. We took the 4 and we divided them, right? So we ended up with 8 plants. 4 were planted under this dapple willow, and the other 4 are planted under the second dapple willow. All 8 sections survived and are thriving. Can you believe it? They're growing and looking beautiful. Let me take you in close. All right. Nice, right? Very nice. Okay. And the ones under the second plant, and there they are. We still have some alliums in that bed, but they're blooming beautifully too. Stop it. All right, come here. Let's turn for just a second. Never mind the lawn bag. We were working in the garden. You know, I'm always working in the garden, right? Especially on the weekends, cutting back, weeding. Oh my goodness, let's not talk about weeding. Oh my gosh. All right, we won't even talk about it. This is the or marigold plant and wrapping the limelight hydrangeas here. And look, it's starting to change, right? Yep. All of the other colors are now starting to pop in. So we started with the Inca, the light yellows. And then we have a darker yellow that has started to bloom. You see it? This right here. And now the orange. Hello. The orange will be up in time for the heat of summer. And so this bed is slowly filling in, but it should fill in beautifully. Yeah. The planting on the opposite side is doing just as good. All right. Let me show you. Here it is. And the dahlia, oh my gosh. I think the conversation piece right here for this bed is the dahlia. The dahlia was, again, I've told you the story, what, 4 or 5 weeks now, right? In a row. Stop it. The dahlia came back all by itself. I left them in the ground throughout the winter. This little dahlia came back, I kid you not, and just look at how gorgeous. Look at how gorgeous. Guys, look at how, oh man, I love gardening. I love it. I love plants. I love gardening. I just love it. Look. Look at how beautiful. Oh man. Yeah. I'm learning. Every season I learn something new. But the one thing for sure that I have learned without question is that I love gardening. I love it. I love it. I absolutely love it. Okay. All right, enough about telling you how much I love it. And but this bed is filling in way faster than the other. And a part of that is because that dahlia is like 20 times larger than the one in the other bed. It's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous, right? Let me turn you around. An accidental planting that works. Gosh, I love it. You want me to show you something else that works? Turn, turn, turn. You're on the Rose Island right now. Okay. But this is a plant in here that works. Let me show you. Look at this and tell me that this does not work for you. If this does not work for you, well, you probably just don't like my color palettes. But that's all good. Everybody has a different thing that works for them, right? But look at this. Tell me this is not working. This is the Purple Prince paired with the Shasta Daisy. And let's add another layer to it. Come on, let me step back a little bit more. Look at that. What did I just do? That's the Purple Prince, the Shasta Daisy, and the Dusty Miller. That is an awesome combination right there. Can you see it? I love that combination. Let me pull back a bit more. Can you guys see it properly? I don't know if you can see it properly. I hope you are. But that's a gorgeous combination to have mass planted somewhere in the garden. So let's remember this for next year. That somehow we need to mass plant or just have a bed dedicated to just these 3 plants. Daisy, Purple Prince, and Dusty Miller. Gorgeous, gorgeous combination of plants. Right, look at that. Gorgeous, they work so well together. That's the Dusty Miller with the Shasta Daisy right now. And there's the Purple Prince in the background. So this is a way better view. Can you see it? I love that. I love that. I love purple. So probably that's why I love that so much. But I love that. Okay? All right. I'm going to turn you. I want to show you the roses. I promise it's the last update for this video. I will not take you up and down and around the place and all over the entire garden again, right? You're like, Naomi, I got to go cook my Sunday dinner. Do you guys still cook Sunday dinner? Listen, when I was coming up, Sunday dinner was a thing, you know? I have my kids now, and you know, I don't really, I must admit, I have fallen short where that is concerned in terms of cooking that Sunday dinner. But I think it's something I need to get back into, right? Do you remember, no matter what happens during that week, no matter how many times you eat your Chinese food, your pizza, whatever you do, on Sunday, no matter what, your family comes together, you guys sit at the table, and you enjoy you a good meal together. I need to do that for my kids. Yeah, I must admit, I need to do that for my kids. All right, on to where I want to show you. This is a planting of berry roses, Munstead wood. And look at that in the background. Oh my gosh, he's flowering just in time so I can show you. He's actually flowered before last week. He had a few blooms for us. And I didn't know he would have had more open just in time for today's tour, which is good. But this is Woollerton Old Hall. Yep. This is our climber right here. Planted bare roots just this spring, I think, in April, mid-April. All right. Munstead Wood had put on a show with his little self out here. All right. And he's got more blooms to open. I think I have a faded bloom here I can show you. This guy was sending out blooms true to the size that Munstead Wood should be. So this is a good thing. But I want to stand here for a second to clarify something I said in one of my earlier videos that I realized there may have been a little bit of miscommunication on my part. All right. These roses were planted in the same bed that I removed young Lycidas from. My planting of young Lycidas did not thrive in the space because before having young Lycidas in here, I had Tranquility in this very bed. When I removed Tranquility, I did nothing in terms of amending the soil or changing the soil. I simply plopped that young Lycidas in. Young Lycidas did not enjoy that, right? And I'm attributing it to the fact that I did not do anything to the soil for that new planting. Normally with roses, when you are putting them in, when you are planting them where you've had another rose growing for a while, it is recommended that you change that soil, or if you can't change the soil, that you heavily amend that soil. Add some good love into that soil, right? I had skipped that step. So when I came in to plant these roses, right, I removed at least a wheelbarrow's worth of soil from each planting hole. So from these 4 holes, a wheelbarrow's worth of soil was removed from each hole. And then I came in with fresh soil and compost to plant these guys up because I knew that I had an issue in the bed, and it's very important for me for these roses to get established and to grow. Now, what causes the roses to not do as well is a thing called rose replant disease. It has something to do with the, I think, the reduction of nutrients in the soil, but more importantly with, I don't know, is it microbes? There is a word that they use for the microorganism that lives in the soil that fights against the root development of the other rose that you are going to put in. So heavily, look at the spiderweb again. Faithful, boy. So heavily amending that planting hole, or better yet, changing that soil is normally recommended so that your new planting can thrive in the space. So you can plant where you've had another rose before, but definitely change that soil if you can, right? If you can't change it, then amend the life out of that baby, can I tell you? Or the life back into it. Right, this right here is Bosco Bell. I know Bosco Bell's looking good. All right, and I'm taking you back up the walk here really quick, back up the island, because I'd like to show you the second roses that we've got planted here, and this project we did in the Rosewalk. So as I get there, I'm going to set you up for what you're going to see. The Rosewalk is not what it used to be. It is a former, oh my goodness, it's nothing like its former self. We are reworking the walk, and it is a slow process, right? Because now we have to wait for everything to grow back in. But we are reworking the space, and so don't be too surprised when you see that there's nothing there. You're like, Naomi, what did you do, people? I did what I had to do, right? Elizabeth's flowering. Elizabeth, look at her, right? Elizabeth is a non-stop flowering rose, you know. Remember when you saw her a couple of weeks ago, I had not deadheaded, and she was covered in all of these spent blooms. Went ahead and deadheaded, and look. She just keeps sending them up. And you're like, Naomi, you need to deadhead again, let me tell you. I do. Right, look at this new spray right here. Look at this new shoot. Look at all of those flowers on that new shoot. That's beautiful. Right, so why I've taken you into the walk is, one, to update you on what we've got planted, replacing the roses that have been gone, but two, that have been removed, to show you how I did the planting in this area, because the roses that were on the walk, the roses in these beds, they have been planted here now for about 5 years, right? And it is recommended, hey, listen, if you're replanting after 5 years, if you've removed a rose that's grown for 5 years, replacing it with a rose, that is when it is highly stressed that you change that soil, right? Change that soil before putting your new rose in. Now, I will be honest with you. I don't have the luxury of changing out the soil in the entire planting space. I do not. But what I did here is, just like we did in the back garden where you saw Munstead Wood and Woollerton, is that I removed a wheelbarrow's worth of soil from the planting holes, and then instead of just filling that hole with new soil, what I did is I planted the roses in cardboard boxes. So the same box that they came in with, the same DA boxes that they were delivered in, we made those boxes into basically containers, put all of our fresh soil in there, and then planted the rose. And this is hopefully, again, in an effort to avoid or prevent rosary plant disease. It's done in an effort to ensure that the new planting has a chance to establish before its roots get out into the native soil, right? So it's my first time attempting to do it this way, and I'm hoping that it works, because I really need my new planting to thrive. Yeah. So the new roses that we have on here, I repeated one that I've got in the back garden. This is Princess Alexandra of Kent, because I've always wanted to see her grow in a more shady spot. I think in my garden, she is beautiful, but I find that the location that I have her in is full sun, and I think it's working against me or against her. And the DA website does say that this is a rose that, hey, this rose can be planted in shade, right? Does enjoy a bit of shade. So in this spot where I've planted her, she will get afternoon shade. And the other planting right here, we selected one that was straight on, full on, I will thrive in the shade, like Crown Princess Margaret will thrive in the shade. I'm told that this rose is a shade lover. This is Donahue, right? Donahue came in looking really good. I'll show you what the roses look like when they came in. We got really great specimens. The unfortunate thing is that they were tossed about during the shipping process. So when they got here, they had a lot of broken stems and canes, right? We didn't worry much about it. I simply just cut off everything that was broken, planted the rose, and now we're waiting for them to establish. to get established and to start growing. Let me put my knee up here. Look really quick. You see those new growth tips? Yeah, so he's going to settle in. He's going to grow. Yeah. All right, pruning is not the worst thing you can do to a rose, and so those broken canes during shipment, it's all good, right? It's just going to push up new growth for me from there, hopefully. All right, there is not much that I can show you on the opposite side of the Rosewalk. We're feeling a little bit of sprinkle right now, which is good. The hydrangeas, if you remember, we had to cut the hydrangeas back, but the good thing is, look, they're pushing up a new growth now. I wish I had cut them back earlier. Okay, pushing up new growth, and I think they are going to be fine. This is the Bobo hydrangea. We also had to come in, take a deep breath. You saw her blooming beautifully this season. We also had to come in and cut back, I kid you not, cut back down to even below where I normally prune her for the spring. We had to cut back Gertrude Chico. Okay. So this was done after her first flush of roses, because I showed you her flushing, yeah. Boy, it took everything that I had, but I cut her back. We've sprayed her off, and we are willing her to push up that new growth, because I found that with the damage that happened on the Rosewalk, the plants that I did cut back are now pushing up healthier growth and rebounding. The ones that I did not cut back, that I tried to just trim off the damaged bits and hoping that they'll push out and continue to grow, they struggled. So we just went ahead and did a full cut back in this area, right? But it's all good. It's all good. I'll show you what this area looked like maybe last year in its peak, and we will just wait patiently for it to regrow. All right, and look, get back to its peak performance here hopefully next season. All right, turn around. I want to show you the last update for today's video before you go. Let's jump onto the patio. Okay. All right, this is the messy patio. Stop it. This patio is a work in progress, and it is getting clean. Do you remember the last time I took you by here? I told you, close your eyes, people, close your eyes. Don't look. Guys, you can look now. Yeah, I'm getting it all cleaned up, and it feels better. Look at that. Oh, it feels so much better. We can walk around without running into plants and empty containers and all the sorts of weird stuff that we had going on. Right, but I'll give you a quick update on what's on the patio. This week we got into planting. We planted a whole lot of fun this week. We planted lots of vincas, right? So our annual of choice this year are vincas, lots of vincas. I planted this little beauty. I don't know, I just saw this and just loved it, right? I've seen it several years and I've never been one for it. But this year I saw it and I was like, you know what? I like this plant. And so I got it. It's called Splash of Something. Let me see if I have one of the tags. I don't have the tag. Oh, yes, I do. It was just planted. I just planted it up yesterday. It's called Splash Select White. Right? So, nice plant. I don't know. I like it. I like it. I like it. And I think this splash of white and green is going to go really well with my choice of annuals this year, which is the, let me show you, which are the vincas, right? We've got another tray left to be planted. But I think it's going to really help to cool down the space. I like the way it's going to work with the green of the hydrangeas. And can you imagine when the hydrangeas pop and these guys are popping? We're going to be doing good things, people. All right, and the last thing I want to show you, last highlight, last shout out. This is important. If you stuck around to the end, let me tell you. Look at this little standard right here. Do you see that limelight right here? Guys, this is the one that we took from Cuttings last year. What? Listen, last year when we did prune, when we were pruning our limelight, and this was done willy-nilly, without any sort of thought, we took one of the branches, one of the cuttings, and just stuck it into the ground. And let me tell you, as you can see, it grew, right? It grew. And not only did it grow, oh my gosh, look at it. It has become a perfect little standard. What? Guys, look at the canopy on it. Look at the canopy on it. Look at the leaves. Her leaves are as large as the limelights on the ground right now. Okay. Now she had the benefit of being grown in ground, and I have noticed that when you grow your limelights, like for me the limelight, or even this little one, which is the vanilla strawberry, these guys growing in ground, they really love it, and so they'll become really big and huge and gorgeous in no time. So I have to give all the credit to the fact that the ground had her and took care of her, so she was able to do her growing thing. But look at this standard, guys. I have saved myself about, I mean, it's half the size of the height of a regular standard. But I'm thinking if I went to the store to buy this as a standard, I'd be paying at least $65. What do you think? So I saved myself $80. I wrote it up to 80 because, you know, I would have to drive there, right? And all the effort and the time. And look at this. A free plant. Guys, a free plant from my garden. I can't believe it. And for it to look this good after just 1 year, I cannot believe it. Can you imagine what she's going to look like next year? Right? She is going to be an official standard next year. This section is going to be taken off. So don't worry, I'm going to cut that section off. When I transplanted her from the Rosewalk this week, I was reluctant to remove that section because I wanted to make sure the plant survived first. So now that I know that she is surviving and thriving, we'll go ahead and cut that off, and we will stake her, tie her in so that that main trunk remains straight. And look at that. We got her standard. So now you know what I want, right? Yep, you know me. I do things in 4. I want 4 more. 4 more, guys. So next spring, remind me to take at least 8 cut-ins, right? I have to give myself a 50-50 chance, right, to reach where I want to go. At least 8 cut-ins. We're going to pop them in the ground. And I like the fact of starting them in the ground because it's no work on me. I stick them and forget them, and then they grow and become what they want to grow and become. But let's get 4, let's get 8, stick them in the ground so that we can have these kind of standards, nice short standards like this. And then let's plant the standards in urns. Oh, I kid you not. Let's plant them in nice urns. And then we can surround the base with annuals. Oh my goodness, that's going to look so cute. That's going to look so cute. And I have talked too much today. I always end up talking too much, guys. I can't help it because I just love spending the time with you. I love updating you on what I'm doing in the garden. Alright guys, this is a perfect place to end it as any, right? Ooh, I just had to show you my limelight hydrangeas. I do hope you enjoyed the video. I know I like to take you through the whole garden. I promise I missed a whole lot, you know. I jumped over a whole lot. It's just that I think I repeated myself and just kept showing you little things that I just really wanted to share. But here's hoping that you enjoyed the garden stroll. Here's hoping that you like what we've got going on, right? If you do, definitely give us a thumbs up. And if you have not yet, listen, you need to go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Guys, let's hit that subscribe button and let's keep growing. Let's keep growing our little garden together. Again, thanks for watching. You are all awesome. Have a great week, and I will see you. I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.